Good evening, guys.
Good evening, ma'am.
So, in the last class, we just saw what this event bubbling and event capturing are. So, today, let's see in detail what these things actually are. Okay. So, let me just tell you something that here I have added a small code in the index.html. My screen is visible and the voice is audible, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. So basically, what we are going to do here is I have one div, okay. Inside this div, I have another div, and inside this, I have another div, okay. So basically, I'm having three divs. Now, one is inside the other. Also, I have given some basic styling to all these three divs, okay. And then the outer div is named as grain parent, inner div is named as parent, and the inner one is child, okay. Now, as you can see here, we are having these divs like this. Just a minute. So we are basically having these three divs to be presented like this. Now, what we are doing is I am adding, first of all, what I have done is I have just took all these three as an element. Okay. So here, let's say this grain parent was having the class grain parent. Okay. So now with the help of these individual classes, I have extracted these individual elements and have formed some variables. The variable name are same, whatever content they are having. So grain parent and child. Now we are having this child, right? The child is the inner div. Now, if I want to add an event listener and the event listener is click, so I can add with the help of add event listener, right? So the syntax is quite clear. We discussed means yesterday only, a day before yesterday, let's say. So here, what we are having in the first argument, we are just means mentioning whatever event we are going to have, and then we are just calling a callback function. Okay, so here we have one callback function, and what this callback function is doing, it is just consoling that you clicked on child. Similarly, for parent, grain parent, and also for the body, I mean the document dot body means this entire tag, this body tag. Okay, so on these four of them, I am adding the same event. The event is to click. Okay, so whenever I click on either of these divs, I should get this event as a listener called. Okay, so I hope you remember how these event listeners are actually working. So basically, these callbacks are sent to the browser by JavaScript, and the browser is responsible to notice that okay, this particular div has been means this particular div's event has been called, and then this browser sends that callback as well as event to the JavaScript, and then JavaScript executes these things. Okay, so here it is quite clear, right? This code, all these lines, we are simply adding the event listener. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, clear.
Okay. So now what's the main thing is, let's just open the console. We'll see the output there itself. Okay. So see, let me just refresh it. Now what am I doing is I am clicking on the child. So can you just guess what should be the output if I click on the child? The output should be you clicked on child, right? Because whenever this event listener of click is acting on this child, then this console should be there. Now let me just click on this child. See what just happened. There are all the four things. Means, see, we added four event listeners, right? We had four console to be printed on different cases. But here, if I click on child, then these four of them together are called. Okay, I think this is. Just give me a minute, okay? Okay. So what I was telling that maybe there's some mistake. Okay, by mistake maybe all the four get called. So let me try something else. Here else, let's say I'm clicking on this parent. You can see my cursor. So I'm clicking on this parent div. See, again three things got called. Okay. So again I think maybe there's some mistake. So I called on this grain parent. Again two things got called. So means there is not mistake something. This is happening intentionally. So let's see why is this happening. Actually, this body, this grain parent, this parent and this child all are connected to the same event. And what is the event? Can you tell me?
Click.
Yes, the same event is click. Now, when this happens, that nested things means this body, this child div is inside parent div is inside grandparent div, and this grandparent div is inside body. When some nesting is there, and all the things which are in the nested thing have the same event listener, then such kind of things happen. And this is a JavaScript mechanism which is known as event bubbling. So, what event bubbling basically means is I have mentioned here. You can go through the proper definition part, but it is basically the process in which what happens. First of all, the very grandparent, we can say the parent of parent, gets triggered. Then the inner parent's event got triggered, and so on as we got till the child. That means see what happens starting from the parent to the child, all the event listeners get triggered by itself. Now what do I mean by triggering? See, suppose I click on this child. So what do I mean by trigger is that this callback should work. See, this click is simply saying that I should be called whenever I get click. Now, what should happen? So, what event should happen? What action should happen? This is basically told by the callback function. So, here in the bubbling, what happens if they are nested and all the of them are sharing the same kind of event? So, their callbacks are getting executed by themselves by default. So even if I click on parent, then starting from the means parent's parent. So here parent's parent is this body. So this body's event listener means this callback gets called. After this its child means its grandparent. So this gets called. After this whoever is triggering, that gets called, and here it will stop, it will not go till child. Let's see what am I trying to say. See, if I click on parent, who is the parent of this parent? It is grandparent. Who is the parent of this grandparent? It is body. Is there any parent of body which is having this event listener? No. So what happens now? First of all, the means what should I say? The outermost parents event will get triggered. Means its callback will get triggered. So here, who is the outermost? It is body. So first of all, this body's event will be called, then this grandparents, and then this parent. And here we will stop because what happened? The trigger started when we click on this parent. So till parent, starting from its outermost parent till this, whoever is triggering it, till then all the event listeners will get called. This is the example. So here, if I click on parent, then parent, grandparent, and give me. Yes, maybe I think I just spoke something wrong. That is starting from the child to the parent, it will get called. Let me again give you some another example. Let's say I'm clicking on the grandparent. So first of all, this grandparent, and then whoever is the parent of this grandparent, that's event will be called, and then it's outermost. So if I click on grandparent, and then body will get called. Now, can you just guess what will happen if I click on this child?
Parent, grandparent, and then web page. No?
No, actually, what happens? First of all, child, then its parent, then its grandparent, and then so on. So, see here why it is starting from child, because child has called it. So, we means this event, what is this event bubbling process has started because we clicked on child. So, we will start from child. Now, child, parent, grandparent, and then body. Since all these four are having the same event listener. Now, if by any case we can add event listener on HTML also, then that will also have this, what should I say? event list means it will also come in this event bubbling. I hope this is clear. So again, if we click on grain parent, what happens? First of all, grain parent, then body. Clear?
Ayushi, it will happen in a same event, na, only.
Yes, whenever, see, this is actually mechanism when all of them are nested also and they are having the same event. This is the primary
Okay.
condition. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this is what's about bubbling. Now, you remember the code, right? There is something else which is known as capturing. And oh, sorry. Just try to see its code, okay? I'm just trying to just, because of the formatting, auto format, it has become like this. But, yeah. I think now it is similar to the first one here earlier. We were having click, then we were having any one callback. Okay. So similar is the event listener here. Again, on all the four of them, I have added in event listener. So first argument is what event we want to trigger. Second is what should happen means whatever call what will be inside the callback. Then here there is some addition, which is there is some third argument. So this third argument true means it means that it should do capturing. Okay. Basically, means earlier when we learned about this event listener, we talked about two arguments only. Okay. And mostly we will use two arguments until and unless we specifically wants capturing, then only we will add this true as third argument. Now all of them are same. Only one difference is there that the third argument here is true. Now, if I just do the same thing, just a minute, child is not defined. Okay, I have just commented these also. Now see, what was happening earlier that from child to parent we were going. Okay. The capturing is same, the code is same, right? Only the third argument is different. Earlier, let's say if I add here after this callback, if I add false. So this will just mean that by default we are having every time false, but if we are explicitly giving true as third argument, it means capturing is going to happen. Now, what I mean by capturing, there is only one basic difference that this time the execution will start from outermost parent to the child. Okay, let's try to check. Whom should I click? Let me click child only. See, if I click on child, body, which is the outermost parent, grandparent, parent, and then child got called. If I want to, um, okay, let me just tell you this one and then we'll add some complexity. Now, if I click on parent, okay, what will happen? Till parent, whoever is the outermost parent, that will that event will be called. Then it's inner parent, and so on till whoever is triggering it. Okay. Now let me do something. I've already written the means this code, and I want the output from you all this time. Okay. Now see again what I am doing is um wait. I'm removing this and this from here. So now what happens is I want to tell you one thing, okay? The major point to be remembered is that every time if for example this bubbling and capturing both are going to take place side by side. So first of all what we do first is the capturing and then bubbling will happen. Okay? Now, can you tell me what do you mean by capturing? Capturing simply means that from child, no, sorry, from outermost parent to parent we are going, and in bubbling the opposite happens from child to parent. I hope I'm right. Is this point clear, guys? See, if we are talking about only capturing, so what happens? You understand by this term, na, from parent to child, it simply means from the outermost parent till what I mean by child is not this child every time, not this inner child. It means that whoever is triggering. For example, if here I click on parent, then this parent will play the role of child. Okay. Now, again I have done a small change, and also see, these two are representing capturing. By capturing, what I mean that the third argument will be true. Okay. And these two are having not having this third argument, means these two are representing bubbling. Okay. Now all these four event listeners I have added individually. So in the child, what I have done, I have simply done capturing. In the parent, I have done capturing. In the grandparent and body, I have done bubbling. So what you need to remember is whenever both capturing and bubbling, both if we are using, then first of all capturing happens, then bubbling happens. So here, let me just make you simpler. Maybe you might remember what is capturing and bubbling. So now is it clear? What all things are capturing and what all things are bubbling? Hello guys.
Hello.
Yeah. So now my question is, if I click on child, okay, what happens? If I click on child, what will be the output? Means you can just say capture child or capture parent like this. If I click on child, what will happen? Or should I give one example to you first?
It will go to the only child, na?
See, if child is there, then first of all capturing will happen. Okay. So now what will happen? You will check who is the parent of this child. Okay. So from the outermost parent, you will start capturing. What I mean is, it will check in grandparent capturing, then it will okay, then it will go to parent, and then it will see that is there any capture. Then it will go to itself, like it will come to itself. Now,
It will first check the web page capturing na before grandparent.
yeah, means what I mean here, I'm just simplifying it, not I just mean the outermost grandparent, okay, for now. Whoever is the outermost grandparent every time, means there might be a lot of grandparent in between. So I just mean from the outermost grandparent it will start. Okay. So this is about capturing. It will come to itself. Now after capturing, bubbling will start. Okay. So then again it will check from child to parent. Okay. So now let us see what will happen if um, something happened. Okay, these two. Yeah. Now if I click on child, see what happens. First of all, what will happen? Capturing. Okay. So in capturing, what happens from parent to child? Can you guess? Means let me open it side by side. Then only it will be. See, this was the code, and this is what the output is when I click on child. So see, we start from capturing, right? So for capturing, how many means participants are there? There are two participants. Who is the parent? This parent is there and this child is there. So now what happens here? It starts from parent to child. So who is the parent here? It will first search its body, it because it is the outermost means parent. But when it comes to this where is the screen? Yeah, here is the body. When it comes here, it will see that is there any capturing. Since there is no capturing, it will ignore this. Then it will go to its innermost parent. Innermost parent is this grandparent. So it will check is there any capturing. So there are no capturing. Then it will go to its parent. In parent, is there any capturing happening? So yes, sorry, this is the parent. So is there capturing? Yes, it is having capture. So it will print this capture print parent. Okay. Now it will come to itself. So it will come to capture child. It will print. Now again what happens? It has done one round of capturing. Now it will start round of bubbling. So from where bubbling starts? From itself, whoever is clicking, right? So it will check in itself, is there bubbling in its event listener? No, it is not. Then it will check, sorry, this was the child, it will check here. Then its parent, so parent is also not having bubbling. So it's more parent, means whoever is the grandparent. So here it will check, yes, there is bubbling. So it will click on you clicked grandparent. Okay. And now it's outermost parent. So this will be body. So here it will check that, okay, this will be printed. You clicked on document.body. Is this clear now? Can you
So
guess the
bubbling,
no?
so bubbling and capturing happen at same time.
Yeah, means this is what the code is saying now. Both are, this is what I said in this line. See, if bubbling is there, then you need to simply remember this part, that it will go from child to parent. If there is capturing, then it will check from parent to child. But if both are happening, then first of all capturing will happen, then bubbling will happen. Okay. So here you can see, first of all capture means capture code was here, then there is bubbling code.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now I want you to guess the output. Okay. If I click on green parent, what will be the output? Think nicely and then let me know.
Grandparent and document.body.
Okay. So your answer is green parent and body.
Yeah.
No, child, parent, grandparent, and document.
Okay. Another is
Only bubbling is happening now. I think so.
no, both are happening. Na? The code is this. You have
Okay,
this
yeah.
code in front. Think again and let me know. One answer we have is green parent and then body.
Yeah, parent, then child,
Parent, child,
and then grandparent, then document, grandparent,
means
parent, and child.
body.
Yeah,
Then
then grandparent,
hmm,
then parent and child.
okay. Okay. So what I said, let's click on green parent. Okay. Yeah. So the first answer is right. Without giving explanation, can you just guess
Can
why?
you please explain? Sorry, can
No.
you please explain?
Okay. See, you have to, means in Hindi we say na gaat bandh lo. So just tie a knot with this sentence. Okay. You need to just remember this sentence, and your capturing and bubbling all kind of questions are clear. And in the what happens in the means interview exams na, these kind of questions are there, and we get so confused that which will happen. So what you have to do, just like how I have written here now, that this is capturing, this is bubbling, this you have to do first step. Then you have to remember this mantra, what it is, that first of all capturing will happen, then bubbling will happen. Now I said grandparent. Okay. So for grandparent, how will capturing start? Capturing start from parent to child. Okay. Fine, this is fine. Capturing will start from parent to child. Now, who is
Yes,
the
fine.
outermost parent of grandparent? Outermost parent is body, right? So it should check that, is body having the capture? So can you tell me body is having capturing? No, it is not having, right? So this is
Yes.
discarded. Who is the inner parent? It is grandparent. So is
Mhm.
grandparent having capturing? No, it
No.
is also not having. So it will check in its parent. Is parent having capturing?
Yes.
Yes. So what will happen, we will get this parent first. Now is child having means, sorry, we will not come to this parent, okay? We will stop at grandparent only, because this grandparent is the innermost child for now. I said child means
The,
whoever is starting it. So
yes, yes,
here
yes.
child is
Here are
okay. So what we will do, we will go from outermost parent to this here. So who is the outermost parent? It's body. Okay. So from body, see you, what you can do is you can just write it down. Grandparent capture it will check. Then sorry, body capture it will check first because it is its parent. Then it will stop till grandparent because that is what triggering it. Then it will again start bubbling from child to parent. Who is the child here? Again, grandparent is the child, and what it will check? It will check bubbling. Now it will go to its parent. Who is the parent of this grandparent? It is body. So basically, the competition is in between these four. Okay, this will be the sequence. So is there bubble means is body having capturing? No, it is not having. So this is ignored. Is grandparent having capturing? No, it is not having. So this is ignored. Is grandparent having bubbling? Tell me. Grandparent,
Yes, yes.
it is
yes,
itself having
yes.
bubbling, right? So it will just print you clicked on grandparent, and then it will just print you clicked on body. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is what the output is. Now I hope it is quite clear. Is it?
Yes.
So what you can do today is you can just play around. Now if I remove this body also, and again I am clicking on this grandparent. So what will be the output? The output will be only this. You clicked on grandparent.
Grandparents. Okay, yes.
Clear? So now if I click on grandparent, this will be only the output. So this is, you see, this is very, very hated topic because it is very confusing. But if you get the trick, then it is all simple. So here I have just mentioned this, that capture, then bubbling, and then you already know what is capture and what is bubbling. Okay. Now, see what was happening. My everything fine now?
Yes, yes, fine, fine.
Someone saying anything? Okay. See, why were we even doing this bubbling and capturing? It's, means can you understand why am I doing it? What I really want, I want, if I click on grandparent, I should get that you clicked on grandparent. Okay. Wait, let me just uncomment something. This was the mixed thing. Okay, this was the mixed. Now if I just, what this is simple bubbling. See, you can remember bubbling is very simple, no true, no false, it is having two arguments only. Okay. Now, what I was really intending to do is if I click on grandparent, I should get only you clicked on grandparent. If I click on child, I should only get you clicked on child. Right? This is why we add event listeners, right? Because on whoever we just click that particular callback should be called. But here in bubbling and capturing, what is happening? Whoever are the parent and child related to that thing means the order is clear for you, right? So in that order, that all the callbacks are getting called. So this is the problem to me, because if I click on parent, I want only this output that you clicked on parent. But here these two unnecessary lines are also coming, right? And also see, the thing what we identified is all the event listener means all the callbacks are getting called. So now what I can do is, if I want, means there are four participants, right, for event listener. If I want the same event listener on all the four, can't I make only one event listener? My work would be so easy na. And they are already playing with me, like they are calling each other again and again without asking me. So what I should do, I should only create one means event listener. So now here comes the role of delegation. Okay, just let me comment this. Are you enjoying this concept? because I
Yes, yes,
enjoyed this when I
yes.
learned about this. So see, now what I have done now, I have just made a single event listener. I can make it on anything, means may it be body, grandparent, parent, or child. I have selected grandparent. Let's say I want to, here I have just selected grandparent. Okay. So you know what is this grandparent? This is grandparent is simply means saying that this you have selected the grandparent element. And what is our grandparent element? It is simply the div. Okay. Hope you remember this, right? This code should be clear that this was the div and this was having grandparent text. Now, what I am doing, I am trying to, let me just, now see what I have done. Only see what is uncommented, okay? I have added one simple event listener on grandparent. What event I have added? Click event. I should have one event listener, right? And every time we just keep it empty, right? So this is what we are doing. I am doing. Basically, until now, this is what we were doing for everyone. But this time, only for one of the contestant, I have added event listener. Now let's see how it is working. If I click on parent, grandparent, it should work, right? Because I have added event listener on grandparent. So if I click on grandparent, it worked. Okay, clicked. Now I am again refreshing it. Now I am clicking on parent. It should not call, right? It should not call because I have added on even grandparent. I have not added on parent. Why is it getting called? If I click on child, again it is getting called. If I click on body, um it works late on body. Okay, means see, for these three things it is working, right? So similarly it will work on body also. So now, why is this happening? Actually, in the background, capturing bubbling, that is only what is happening. But here we have added this event listener on this thing. So this is what we call delegation. And in delegation, what happens now? If see, if you want to explain delegation, there are two, 3 points which you need to remember. What are the conditions basically? There should be nesting, okay? In those nested elements, event listener should be added, and you can add a common event listener. So now, even though I have written here grandparent, I can even write parent. Okay, here. So now also you can say, see, if I click on grandparent, wait, let me just make it simpler for now. See, outermost is happening means for now is it clear that if I click on any of these, it is the same event listener is getting called. Okay, just let me keep it simple. So now I have added it on grandparent. Now I want to explain one important topic, which is, see, this I already told you that I can pass here event. So whenever this there is a transaction between browser and the JavaScript, this event is getting means passed, right? You remember this? That apart from callback, this event is also getting passed between JavaScript and browser. If you don't remember, I have repeated this the same thing in the beginning of the class. Now, what I am trying to do is I want to simply console. I want to simply console what this event is basically having. Event here means E. I have just simply written E. Or you can even write event, it would mean the same thing. Because you can give any name to the argument, right? Now, let's see what this E is. When will this E comes? When will this E get printed? Whenever this callback is executed, right? So now let's me just print anywhere. If I click on parent, let's see. This is some object. Yes, in the previous class also I told that event is the global object actually, and it is containing every kind of detail, and it is containing every detail of whoever is clicking it. Now there are two important things. There are a lot of information about it, okay? But there are two important things which are of prime objective to me. One is this target, okay? And the other is current target. See this thing. Okay, these two are there. Now let me console each of them individually. Okay. Do you get why am I doing this e dot target and e dot current? Because I just show you that this e is basically a global object. It is containing everything about information about whoever is clicking it, right? Now we are trying to print e dot target and e dot current because these two basically are the key inside this event object. So now if I just console it, for example, if I click on parent, now can you see who is the target and who is the current target? Basically what happens in the target, it says whom we are clicking. Okay, so whom we are clicking, we clicked on parent, so it is giving us the parent div. Okay, current target means on whom the event listener is basically added. So here event listener is added to the grandparent, right? We added it on the grandparent now, so that's why it is just showing us that the div of grandparent. Now let me just do some modification. Okay, document.body. Now I am adding event listener on document.body. Just checking if it is working correctly. Yes. See. Now if I click on parent, just see the difference. Okay. This clicked got console. Okay, that's fine. The other thing is we get target. What is target? Means who is getting clicked. So this parent is getting clicked. Okay. Now the current target is body. Why it is body? Because we have add event listener on the body. So now what happens? So all the means nested body, grandparent, parent, child. All of them are under the same event listener now. Okay. Now see one more difference. If I click on child, can you guess what should be the output of target? Target should have child, right? And current target should have body. Why? Because
Body.
body is having the event listener. So see, target is child and current target is body. So see why I have showed you. I think if this is clear, then I should move ahead. Is this thing clear?
Okay.
Target and current
Yeah.
target? Yeah.
So target is where is trigger and current target is where event is attached. Huh?
Yes, yes, you can say this.
Yeah.
Yeah, fine. Okay. Now, why am I saying this? Why are we even using it? Why are we means worried about this target and current target? What do I have to do with this? I actually have means mostly I don't have to do something with this current target because obviously we always know who is the current target. The current target is the one who is just having this event listener, who is just having this event delegation, I should say, who is the source of event delegation. But I am actually worried about this target. Let me tell you just quickly why am I worried about it. See, what am I trying to do is I can even skip this part, okay? It is not very important. But I need you to know that if someone asks you about delegation, you should be able to give 1 hour lecture. This is what I want you to do. And why I am doing is because then only the in front person will come to know that okay, your concepts are cleared. Now, see, again see what the code is. I have added some event listener on the body, okay? And it is simply doing click. This is what basically the purpose of adding event, that it should do some work. Now all of them are doing same work. Now see, if I click on body, it is what it is giving me the output clicked. If I click on grandparent, it also gave me the output clicked, therefore it comes here number 2. If I click on parent, number 3 clicked. If I click on child, number 4 clicked. Means all of the 4 are giving me the same output. Now, if I just quickly click somewhere, now can you tell me whom I clicked? All of them are giving me the same output, right? We saw earlier. But if I click somewhere, can you tell me did I click? How will I come to know who clicked it? This is a problem, right?
Using event object.
Yes. So basically, I should just repeat one more time because this is really very important. We have JavaScript, okay? Here, basically, we write about the callback, means about the event listener. Here we write, and we have browser. There is one important point to be remember is that JavaScript does not sit alone and see when this event is getting triggered. What I mean by this is, when JavaScript comes to this line, what it will do? It will see that, okay, we are adding some event listener and this is click. So, what JavaScript should do now? Every time it should check that now is this clicked? If it is clicked, then it should call this callback. This is basically what happens if we add event, right? But JavaScript is so means busy because it has got a lot of work of its own, and also you know that JavaScript is a little baby. Now, JavaScript is having one friend and it is browser. So JavaScript, what it does, just to ease out its work, what it do is it just gives some of its tasks to browser. Now, when it saw this line, what it gave? It gave JavaScript this entire callback function. Okay, so this browser is having this callback function. Apart from callback function, it is also having one more thing, which is event. So there are two things which this browser is having. It is having this callback function and also this event. Now, what happens? JavaScript is free now. JavaScript has executed this line. It will go to the end of the program's line. And when it goes to the end of the program, it is all free and the call stack all is all empty. But suppose if I click on here, so what happens? This browser is very vigilant, right? It will see that I clicked on this parent. So what it will give me? It will give this event back to JavaScript. Okay. And in this event, what it has done, it is just like a small bag. Here it has given a lot of information. Okay. In these two information, there are two things which are useful. One is target and another is current target. So you know about these things, right? What is target and what is current target. So these two things it has given back. And also it now gives back this callback. So this callback is basically again given to the JavaScript. Is this thing clear? Now, what this JavaScript will do, when this button got clicked, whatever this it got clicked, when the event means event got triggered, at this time it will try to execute this callback function. Okay, so this is also a very important question which is being asked. That let's say I have added the event listener, when will this callback be called? So your answer should be that whenever this event got triggered, at that time Java browser will send the information of the event as well as the entire callback will be sent to the JavaScript, and at this point JavaScript will execute, and not at the time when it is undergoing the 74 line. When it is undergoing the 74 line, it is just giving all these things to browser. Okay, but when it gets triggered, at that time only all these things will be called. So now it is clear that this will called. Now, if I want to know who clicked it, so basically what I will use, I will simply use e.target. Okay. Now let's see the difference. Earlier, what was happening? We were in confusion. Who clicked it? We were not knowing who was the culprit. But this time, we can easily know who is the culprit. Why? Because we are having a very important thing, which is event. Event is a object. Okay. This object is having one property, which is target, and this target says that whoever is clicking it, whoever is actually, what I mean by clicking means whoever is triggering that event, that will be mentioned here. Now if I click on parent, this target will be parent. If I click on child, target will be child. And so our very important problem got solved. What was the problem? I wanted to add a common event listener to all these four things. Okay, but what was happening earlier when I was adding event listener individually, so capturing was happening, either bubbling was happening. So this was confusion to me. Also, I wanted a common event listener. For that also, I needed to bring means write four event listeners. But this time, what I am doing is I am writing a common event listener, and I can easily get to know who is actually getting triggered, who is actually triggering this event. So this is what my objective was, and it got solved because of this event delegation. Okay. Now, if you go through the notes, for now there might be some confusions. I know. If you go through this code, you will understand everything. Okay. So how you should just read this code is, here I have written who am I clicking and what is the output. Okay. Similarly, um, here if you go in delegation, and here you can see that if parent is getting clicked, then what is the output basically. So for long term also you will be able to remember. And now here I have written the proper definition. You should really go through and not just leave it as it is, because whenever you need to answer, you should answer it very professionally. Okay. For now I am explaining, I don't need this professional definitions, but if you are giving interviews, then you should definitely know all these terms. Okay. So this is what basically event delegation was. Now we are going to start. I don't think we will be able to continue more. Okay, let's see quickly. There are two topics, okay, that I think you already know, but I needed to just deliver this thing to you, that you should really definitely know the basic difference between these two. So there is one thing, synchronous programming and asynchronous programming. Can anyone answer what is JavaScript? Synchronous language or asynchronous language?
Synchronous,
But we use promises, right? And promises do asynchronous work. So
but
how JavaScript is synchronous?
I think it is using web browser, and that is why something called stack and all.
Yeah.
It is synchronous because single threaded execution, na?
No, threaded and being synchronous and asynchronous is very different. Don't confuse both of them. By threading, what I
Okay.
mean that it
But
will,
but okay, so it uses the synchronous programming.
it is synchronous programming, synchronous only. The answer was right, but I was just confusing you. The thing is, it is synchronous, but still it can do asynchronous work. Okay, this is the beauty of JavaScript. Let's see what do I mean by synchronous. Okay, just try to see this simple code. What I have, is it visible or not? Yep, now it should be clearly visible. See, we are in the first line, we have script start, then we have some loop, and then we have script end. Okay. Now, what should be the output of this? The output should be this first line will get executed. So it will print script start. Then it will go on the second line. It will print all these means 10,000 loop it will go through, and then it will print for the 9,999 times it will print that it is inside for loop. Okay. And then when it gets finished, when all the 9,999 times this console got logged, at that time it will then print script end. Okay. Any confusion in this? You want to see this?
So this is the synchronous execution, na?
Yes, it is synchronous. See, when I started, it will print for the 9,999 times inside for loop. Okay. And sorry, I had refreshed it, I guess. So that's why. And then it printed script end. Is this clear? So this is what I mean by being synchronous. Synchronous means it will execute line by line. Here, you can say that it is taking so much time, right? When it was trying to print these inside loop, it was taking so much time. So here it is maybe in seconds only, but still it is taking more time, right? And by on printing this script end, it this takes less time. So what should this JavaScript do now? It should print script start, then script end, and then it should carry on the work which is taking more time. But JavaScript does not do like this. It is synchronous language, so it will execute line by line. Only when this second line is done, then only it will move to this third line. Okay. Now, and what you were saying about the threading now, what we mean by threading is it will complete this first line. Okay. then it will come to this second line. And what we mean by multi-threading means it will do both of these lines simultaneously, it will execute both of them, but this execute this one first, so it is basically single threaded. And don't give any reason that since it is single threaded it is synchronous. No, it does not work like this. Node.js is asynchronous programming language, but still it is single threaded. Okay, so there's no difference, means no relation between these two, both are different. Now,
No, I said single thread execution.
single thread, yeah,
So
single.
that why I think so कि अगर सिंगल थ्रेड एग्जीक्यूशन होगा तभी हम उसे सिंक्रोनस बोल सकेंगे.
नहीं, यही तो बोल
That
रहे हैं
what?
कि सिंक्रोनस सिंगल थ्रेडेड डज नॉट मीन दैट इट विल बी सिंक्रोनस.
Okay.
Single threaded, what I mean by single threaded means that only this
Yeah,
thread will work, then
yeah,
only
I
this.
know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that. But it's single thread dance. So I think कि ये because of single thread execution, uh, we can call it synchronous.
Okay, let me just come to you. If this is single threaded, then what am I saying? Just hear it. If it is single threaded, then it should run, then it should run. Okay, this is what single threaded is me saying, that this should run completely, then it should go for the next line. So after this first line, it should come to the next line. This should happen now. This is also justified by saying single threaded, but
Okay, okay, got it.
asynchronous
Yeah.
saying that line by line. Clear? Okay. So now I have some different code. Basically, what I means, just to show that it takes time, I need to show something to you. See, for now I said that this is taking more time, but you are not agreeing. You are saying that it is taking some seconds only. So let me just say that when it takes a lot of time. So in JavaScript, I have something which is set timeout. Okay, set timeout. Let us just study the syntax first. And this is again very hated thing because the syntax is very ugly. If you see this now, you will say, what is it, what all things are happening, I'm not getting anything. So just let's keep it very simple. Just remember this one line. There is one callback and there will be some time interval. So what basically the set timeout do now, it will execute these lines, means whatever is inside callback it will execute, but after certain time interval. Okay, now see these four lines. Here, what is happening? We have console.log, start script, then we have set timeout. So, what I mean this by this highlighted lines are that after 1 second only, it will run inside set timeout. Okay, let me put it 5 seconds, and then it will just so on. It will execute these for loop for the 99 times, and also after at the end, it should print this script end, right? Now what should be the ideal case? Ideal case means what you should just determine, guess what will be the output. You will guess that the output is script start, then it should just print this console inside set timeout, then for the 99 times it should print this four dots, and then it should print script end, right? This is what synchronous language say, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, but basically, this set timeout is an asynchronous work. So whenever there is asynchronous work, what it wait, let me just try to show it to you. See what it is doing. Just notice again, okay? It waited for some time and then it printed this line, isn't it? And also, it has just ended the work. I can do other work also, right? After doing other work it is giving me this line. So basically let us try to understand how is this working. So the working starts like this. um, See here what happens. It is first print, means it is asynchronous, right? So it will work, means execute this line first, then it is actually executing this line. But the reason is because it is after 5 seconds it is getting delayed. Okay, so it moved to this next line and it moved to this line after that. Now you will say that if it is running this second line before this third line, then why it is not printing inside timeout? It should print inside timeout, right? Hello.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes. So basically, what is happening now? There is something you need to know. There are four things, four very, very important things, and those I have written in these 7 points. So please try to read this by yourself after you go. For now, I'm just telling you. Okay. There is callback. There is something like callback queue. Before it, there is something like node API, and also there is one thing which is event loop. Okay, so there are four things. Okay, and these are the reason behind this exclusive way why it is working like this. This is the reason. Now, see, callback you already know. Sorry, callback I have written it is call stack. You already know about call stack we had learned earlier while we were learning about the execution context. At that time, we
Yes,
see that in the callback, what happens? First, global execution context come, then the functional execution context comes, right? So here, what happens? Let me just tell you briefly what this Node API is. See here, this set timeout now. This set timeout is basically a C++ function. It is made up in C++. Though it is used in JavaScript, but it is basically made in C++. So anything which is alien, APIs are not built in the client, right? API means APIs comes from server. API comes from somewhere else, right? So we call that API are some external thing. Similarly, since this set timeout is coming from C++, we say this that it is also kind of API. Okay. So now how execution works? What happened? Let's say this is the program, okay? And this is what you are having in the JavaScript, nothing else. So you must know in other language, you must have heard this that execution it starts from the main function, isn't it?
yes,
Yes. So execution starts from main function. Now what I mean main by main function is it is the global execution context. If you know about execution context, what you can relate is this is global execution context. Now in the call stack we have main. Okay. In the main, so we will start executing all the lines. This is what happens. Something comes in the main and then we have two phases, execution phase, creation phase. Don't go in that, but basically just see how it is getting executed. It will come to line 1. This line is simple, and basically what is it having? This this there is this function, sorry, this log is a function. So what will happen? This log will come in the call stack. Okay, this function will come because it is executing line 1, right? So above, just try to see like this, that above main log is there, log function is there. So what it will do, it will execute this function first and then it will go back to main. So when it is executing this log, what it will do, it will just print this thing in the console. So in the output, what do we get? We get this script start. Okay, now, as the work of log means is done, it will get removed from the call stack. So again, what am I having in the call stack? It is main. So where was this main? Basically, it was on line number 1. Since it got completed, it will move to line number 2. When it comes to this line number 2, what happens? This is not the proper, it is not some function or something of JavaScript. It is basically alien. What I mean, it is something which is not related to JavaScript purely. This is made up in C++. So what happens? This set timeout will be sent to node API. Okay, so we sent this set timeout to this node API. Clear? Now JavaScript will forget. JavaScript's work is done, because when it comes to the second line, its work was to give it to Node API. So it gave the work to Node API. Now it will move to line 3. In the line 3, what will happen? All the means for the 99 times, this four dots will be executed. Is this clear? Means these will be printed basically. I should not write here in the call stack. These will be printed for the 99 times in the console. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now it is done. It has done with the execution of line number 3. So it will move to line number 4. So what it will do? It will again call this log function here in the call stack. And since this is what which is means at the upper position, so it will execute this log first. So what happens? This script end will be printed, and here you will get in the console a script end. And again, since it is executed, it will get removed from the call stack. Now again, what am I having in the call stack? It is main. So it will go on the next line. Is there any other line? No, there is no line. So this main also got eliminated. Okay. Before this main was getting eliminated, what happens? This set timeout was having some time interval that it will execute after some time. What was the time? Can you tell me? It was 5 seconds. What I mean by here 5,000 is basically 5,000 milliseconds. Here we mention time interval in milliseconds. Okay. So 5, it is basically 5 seconds. Now it will, whenever this 5 second was done, what will happen? This set timeout is ready to execute. Until 5 second it was not ready to execute, right? But as 5 second means is passed, it is ready to execute. So what JavaScript will do? It will send this set timeout to node API, to this callback queue. Okay. Why? It is simply like callback queue, right? It is having some fallback, and this is what need to be done. See, basically, if there is any callback, it will come to this callback queue. Here, it was sent to this node API. Why? Because it was not ready to execute. But after 5 seconds, it is ready to execute. What I mean by ready to execute means this callback function can be called now. So here, this callback comes to this callback queue. Okay, so this set timeout basically comes here. Now, what happens? After 5 seconds, this set timeout came in callback queue. Okay. Slowly, when this main function got executed, this main function got removed from main call stack, right? Now this call stack is empty, and also by the time this set timeout was sent to this event loop, was sorry, wait, let me again just say, see, the set timeout is in callback queue now, right? What this event loop do now? It is like neighbor auntie. Neighbor auntie knows everything about what is going on in each other's house. So it know that when this call stack will get empty, this event loop will come to know. So what this event loop will do? It will say, hey, set timeout, now is the time. There is no one in the call stack, just get out from here and go to the call stack. So this set timeout will come in the call stack. What I mean by set timeout, I mean that set timeout functions, whatever this callback function is there, this will come in the call stack. Now at this time, this callback will actually work. It will execute, and what it will do? It will print inside timeout. Okay. So at the end, you will get inside timeout. See, again, let me repeat what I said in the first step. From where did I started this topic? I said that JavaScript is synchronous language, right? By synchronous, what I mean? I mean that it will perform one line, then it will perform the next line, then it will perform the next line, right? It will not go that since this is taking more time, let me just skip it and I should go on the third line. It will not do like this. It will execute the second line. So what happens when we were on the first line and everything starts by main function, right? The code execution starts from main function. So this main function is in the call stack, or you can even refer it to as global execution context. Okay. Let me just keep it simple, only main function. Now what happens? Line 1 got executed, so this log function comes in call stack. Since it is a function, normal function, so it is in the call stack. Now when we will work on this log function, what this log function is saying? It is saying that print this on the console. So we agreed that okay, print this on the console, so we printed it. Okay. the whatever log function was asking, it is done, so it gets removed from the call stack. Again, what we are having main, and the pointer says where we were on the line 1, and since line 1 execution is done, so we will go in the line 2. In the line 2, what happens? There is set timeout. Okay, so this JavaScript know that since it is alien, what we will do, we will send it to node API. Okay, so we will send here to this node API, we will send this set timeout. Okay, now let me write this set. Now we will continue doing this main function because we are done with the second line. JavaScript is done because now is the role of this node API what to do with set. JavaScript work is done. So it will move to the third line. In the third line, what will happen? Again, log function will be called, and all these four lines will be printed here on the console 99 times. Then we will come here on the fourth line. Again, log function will be there. It will print script end, and then log function will go away. And this main function will go this time. But before, meanwhile, what was happening? This 5 seconds are done. Okay, let's say 5 seconds are done. And now this set is ready to be executed. So where it will go? It will say that now your callback is ready to be executed. So it will take its callback to this callback queue. Callback queue is basically where the callbacks are put. So here set timeouts callback will be put. Okay, now what this event loop is doing, by the way, event loop is do checking is call stack empty. As it gets empty, as this main function gets work done, okay, what it will do, it will say that set function come to this call stack. So when this main function is done working, this set function will basically come to this call stack. Okay, and now set callback will be executed. What set callback is saying, basically it is saying that console inside set timeout. So it will console inside set timeout. Okay, is everything clear till now?
So can I ask something?
Yeah.
After the 5 second,
Hmm.
set timeout will be a call. Okay,
Yeah.
so it will come to the callback queue. Okay,
Yes.
at the same time, another function execution is
Yeah. No,
going.
no, wait, wait,
Then
wait.
what
Let
will be?
me. I have just simplified it for now. You are just going on the complex thing that I will cover. Don't worry. For now, is this clear? Means the execution.
Yeah, yeah, that's clear.
Yeah. Okay. So now let's say, don't worry. I was already adding this part. Okay. See, I have another line. Okay. So I have two set timeout function. Again, let's see how JavaScript will work. It will have main function first of all. Okay. Then it comes on the second line. What it will get set timeout, and this is basically having 5 second time. Okay, so let me write set 5. Now it comes on the third line. What this third line is saying, there is another set timeout which is for the 3 seconds. So here in the node API, what we will be having three things, two things basically: set timeout for the 5 second and set timeout for the 3 second. JavaScript work is done. It will come to this fourth line. It will print this four dots 99 times. Then it will come for the fourth line. It will come script end for the script end, right, on the console. Everything clear till now?
Yes, clear.
Now what happens? See, let's say meanwhile this main is getting execute, means whenever this everything of the main function is done now, this main will be removed from the call stack. Okay, so let us just I'm not telling that when this main function is getting removed, because I can't determine. May it be in 1 second only, or may this will means executing everything in the main function can take 8 seconds also. So for now I'm just not telling that how, at what time this main function will get closed. Let us see what will happen to these two. First of all, 3 seconds will pass first, right. When 3 seconds are done, this set 3 will be moved to callback queue. Even though you remember, first time this set 5 came first and then set 3 came. But here in the callback queue, this set 3 is sent first. Now here again, when 5 seconds are done, this set 5 will also move to callback queue. Okay. Now, what this event loop will see, it will see this as the main function is getting over, means as the call stack is basically empty. What it will do, it will say to the callback queue, now you can send your items here. Who will be sent first, tell me, the one
Set
who
three, na?
came first or the one who will take less time? So
Set three, na?
pardon.
Set three will
Yes.
be sent first, na?
Yeah. So here it will send that one who will, whoever is taking the less time, it will send first. So here first set 3 will be sent and then set 5 will be sent. Okay. Is this clear now?
Yeah.
Yeah, clear.
Let us just quickly check this thing. Here, let me just write here 5 and then here 3. Okay. Let it for, okay. There are so many things.
Change set time out.
Yeah, 10 only. Now see, for
Hello,
now,
Aish.
could not see.
Change. Hello, pardon.
Huh? Tell me.
Change set time out, na?
Okay.
Both are
This one.
free.
Let me 6, 7 or 5 only. Let's say. See, just try to see what happened. Who will come first? First this 3 will come, then this 5 will come. Okay? And inside it, you can now see how is it executing. These two comes in very, very milliseconds, so you can't just guess who is coming first. So actually, this is script start is getting coming first, then this. And meanwhile, these two were in the where they were in the node API. And then 3 second or 5 second passed, they came in the callback queue. And as this got over, means the main function got over, they came in the main stack. Sorry, call stack. Okay, and in the call stack, this set timeout 3 came first, and then this 5 came first. Clear now?
Yeah,
So
clear.
ready for to do all such kind of questions?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So basically, I don't have any kind of these questions. So you should just try out yourself only. Just put this set timeout before this script start. Just increase the time intervals, and like this you can play around. Okay. But what you need to do is you need to remember the basic architecture of how it is basically working. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving ahead, I think the time is okay. Just let me cover some topics. So see, what this set timeout do now, it is basically returning something every time. What it do, whenever it gets executed, it returns something. Here it was also returning something, okay, but we didn't saw what it was returning. So what happens? It returns some ID, some kind of ID it returns, okay, means it just leaves its mark. Okay, you can understand it with a very good example. In the train, many of the people just put their handkerchief, right? That this is my place. Okay, when I will come, I will sit here. And when they will come, they are on the window side, right? When they will pass on to the gate, and from the gate again, when they will come here on the seat, in that time, no one can take their place. Okay, and whenever means basically what they are trying to say is this is my position. Whenever I will come at this position. So similarly, every set timeout just gives some kind of ID. It leaves some ID as return something. So it returns ID, and here we are storing basically this ID. And there is again another function which is clear timeout. If we pass this ID to this clear timeout, what it say, that we will not call this set timeout, it will just simply cancel it. Let me tell you what is happening. See, so basically, we are having all these four things, right? Let us just try to see what this code is trying to say. When we learn the means execute this first line, start script will print. Then, when it comes to the second line, this set timeout will be sent to Node API. Okay, and let's say here 5 seconds, 7 seconds, or like this, so that it takes more time. Now, and see, even though it was 1 second, let's keep it 1 second only. Even though it is 1 second, and after 1 second pass, this set timeout will come in callback queue. Still, it will not be able to execute. Let's say when it is on the line 3, 1 second pass. So this set timeout should come in the call stack and execute. But this will not happen. Why? Because whenever this call stack is empty, at that time only anything which is in the this callback queue will come. Okay, and who will tell that now this call stack is empty? This event loop will tell, okay, when this call stack is empty. So basically, let's see what is happening here. This set timeout was sent to this node api, and after 1 second it came here in callback queue, or may it be in node api or callback queue. That is not our concern. It is somewhere in between these two. Okay, now we come on the third line. What it is saying, it is trying to console what it is returning. So this ID got printed. So let's say the ID is 1. Now it will come on the fourth line. Clearing timeout. Clearing timeout will be printed. Now what happens at this 5 line? It will say, let's say there are a lot of set timeout. Okay. This set timeout is having some ID. Let's say it is having one ID. Okay, what are we doing in this clear timeout function? We are specifying that take this id and clear it, clear the timeout. The means it is the word says the meaning. What it means, clear timeout means just cancel this timeout. So this side timeout will be finished here. It will no longer execute. Even though this call stack will be empty, but still we will not see this line. What this line? Inside timeout. Because at line 5 it is already destroyed. So this clear timeout basically destroys the set timeout. Okay, and now you can see script end. Now you will say, what is the use of this? Let me tell you one small example. Let's say we are having a timer. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, here I will print, by adding loop I will just print the value of I again and again. Okay, until and when, let's say there is some loop. Okay, for loop there is. Okay, by for loop what I mean that it will run for the 10 times. Okay, from 0 to from 1 to 10 it will run this I value. But let me say, if value of I equals to 5, it should stop working. Okay, you can say that you can use break, but it is not simple mathematic thing which is happening. There is a very long complex situation. And also here I don't want to print when, means this is basically useful when you will learn about states, which is in react like this. So that time what happens now, at some other position, let's say when all these work are done, at this position, now I realize that I don't want to call it anymore. Okay, so what to stop something, what we will do, we will pass that something inside this callback that do something, but when I call this clear timeout, it will stop executing it. Is this thing clear? So see, it uses id returned by set timeout. So this set timeout every time returns some id. Okay, and then which can be used to clear timeout to prevent callback of set timeout to run. Is the line clear? Basically
Yes, sir.
to just prevent that they should not just print anymore or function anymore, I will just pass the id to the clear timeout, and when I pass, it will just destroy this set timeout. Okay, now set interval is again very similar to set timeout. But now what happens, what we were doing in the set timeout, when this particular interval means occur, after that we will call this callback function, right? But here what happens, after every time interval, means after every 2 seconds, this callback will be called. Clear? So basically you can again see the execution in the with taking care of these four things. What happens when 2 seconds happen, this set timeout one will pass on to node api. Okay, again after 2 seconds what will happen, again another set timeout will be created, and then it will be passed to this node api. Like this it will function. Okay, so basically it is same as set timeout. The functioning everything is similar. Just the thing is, after every 2 second, this set timeout will be happening. Now here, what we are printing some random value from math function, and here it is just printing some random value after every 2 second. Okay, and it will go on executing. Let us just try to see. And basically what it will give now, it will give us the infinite loop. Do you know infinite loop? Guys, do you know
Yeah.
about infinite loop? Infinite loop basically means that it will go on execution. There will be no end. Okay. After 2 seconds, this come. One, two, another come. One, two, another came. One, two. And this will go on. There is no stopping. But how we can stop? We can stop by basically using clear interval. Okay. So there is another function which is same as clear timeout. And what just let me stop it. So here if you see, it is just kept keeping on going. So I think this is clear. Set interval, set timeout. Okay. And similarly, clear interval and clear timeout. This is basically what is clear interval. Okay. So today, in explaining all those capturing delegation, I could not cover this callback and callback queue. But just like you enjoyed this event capturing bubbling now, similarly, you will enjoy this callback. Okay. So let's leave it for the tomorrow session. So are you available to take class tomorrow?
No, ma'am, I had a class. So
Meet me some